Hi everyone, this is Callie. Welcome to another Simon Says Stamp STAMPtember 2024 exclusive. Today's collaboration is with Clearly Besotted, and I'm so excited I get to make a card with this set and to be able to share it with you here in a video. Here is a look at that Garden Gnomes set. We have 3 gnomes here with some flowers, as well as a floral corner arrangement and lots of great sentiments to go with those gnomes. We also have a coordinating die set that you can also purchase with the stamp set, or if you choose to opt out, you can also buy the stamp set only. Okay, so to start my card, I'm just going to stamp a few images here. I've used 2 garden gnomes with their flowers and the corner flower image. I'm going to stamp that on some Hammermill cardstock and color with Copic markers. I'm going to speed through the coloring process here. I'm keeping it as simple as I can. This is a great combination for flowers for me. I love this more deep muted tone of a pink for flowers. So that's R81, R83, and R85. So as with all things, I like to color in little segments. So each petal is considered an entity of its own, and I like to apply the dark color first. With petals and flowers, if the flower is facing you like this one that I'm coloring here, then all the shadows are going to be on the insides towards the center of the flower. So I apply the darkest color first, then move on to a medium color, just overlapping that dark color just a tad bit, and then going in with a lighter color and filling at least 50% of that section with the lightest color. And that just creates a really nice blend of colors, and it really has a lot of contrast where the shaded areas are. Now with flowers facing upward, you get the sides of the petals and the backs of the petals on the other side of the flower. So I am adding the darker colors at the bottom and up the sides just a little bit. And leaves are colored the same way. I'm applying the shaded areas or the darker areas at the bottom of each section of the leaves. And then I apply a medium shade, just overlapping that darker color by a little bit. And then again, trying to fill in that lighter shade, at least 50% of that section. And then you get that nice sharp contrast. So I'm going to finish here with the gnomes. I'm doing some skin tones on their faces and hands. Then I'll do some light gray on their beards. And then I'll move on to their little booties that I'll color with some brown. And then for the hats, I decided to go with the traditional red and blue. So I'll finish up there, and that's pretty quick and easy to do. So I hope my short explanation for how I color will help you if you have questions about it. I know a lot of people color differently. This is just my process. And if you're not confident with your coloring, I really just encourage you to play and figure out what works for you. Once I got comfortable with it, I found myself gravitating to the same colors, and I'm sure you'll find yourself gravitating to the same colors that you like to use as well once you get your technique down. Okay, so now that coloring is done, I'm going to use the coordinating dies to die cut my images. And because we have this pretty corner flower arrangement, I decided I wanted to use that to frame an arch window. So I have a nested dome arch die here from Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to cut it from some white cardstock so that I can frame the bottom of that arch, and then also use the other images as well to create my card. Now in that window opening, I wanted to add some color. So on a card base, I'm going to ink blend some pink and yellow and get a nice soft gradient of color for that window opening. I'm using GUAVA ink and butter ink from Simon Says Stamp. If you're interested in any of the combinations that I used or any of those tools and supplies, be sure to check out the links below. Everything will be linked for your convenience. So between the yellow and the pink, I'm just going to work between the 2 colors until I get a gradient and saturation that I'm happy with. Next, I'm going to place both panels inside my MISTI, and I'm going to use that arch window as a template or as a guide so that I can perfectly position a sentiment. I'm going to choose a sentiment and center it underneath that arch. And when I've got it centered just right, I'll remove that arch window because I no longer need it there. And we'll just remove some of that bulk from the MISTI so that I can apply some ink and stamp my sentiment where it should go. For sentiments, my go-to ink is VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. It's a crisp black ink, and it works great over Distress Oxide ink blended backgrounds as well. Now to put my card together, I'm going to adhere this window with some 3D foam adhesive strips. I'm adding some strips all the way around the window, and then I'll remove the backing and then center it over my card base where I've ink blended and added my sentiment, and just add that panel right on top. Gives everything a bit of dimension, and you can see some height there where the window is propped up. Then to add that floral frame at the very bottom, I'm adding some 3D foam strips on that image as well, where it sits inside of this open window. And then I'll add some liquid adhesive around the edges that will catch the paper of the window. This might be overkill for some people, but I like to make sure that my cards last. So the extra adhesive around the edges of the flower frame provide me confidence that the dry adhesive from the adhesive strips will never fail, because in my experience, liquid adhesive is the only thing that has not failed for me. I'm going to do the same thing with this little red gnome here, using some foam adhesive where the image overhangs over the window, and then using liquid adhesive where he touches the frame. And then I'll adhere that last gnome at the center of my card with some more liquid adhesive and just directly onto the card base. Last but not least, I wanted to give my images a little bit more pop and interest. So I'm using a POSCA paint pen. This is an ultra fine metal tip paint pen that has great white opacity and draws fine lines for you. So if you're having trouble with any of your white gel pens, be sure to give this one a try. Alright, so that finishes my Garden Gnomies card using the Clearly Besotted set for STAMPtember 2024. I hope you enjoyed this card. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. If you're interested in this set, be sure to take this opportunity and shop now while supplies last. This is a STAMPtember exclusive collaboration set and will not be restocked once it's sold out. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.
I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at SimonsSaysStamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.